Hi friends, today I wanted to discuss on a very hot topic, the great North Indian migration. Migration, first of all, is shifting of people from one place to another, and migration has been happening throughout the centuries, not only in human beings but also in birds. There are seasonal migrants like Siberian cranes coming to India to overcome the winter season. So, migration is happening from ages together. Now, this is here in this video, we'll be analyzing what are the types of migrants and other things because at present, so most of us, the natives or indigenous people, there is a resistance towards the migrants and there is also a false understanding of the migrants. So, what we have to understand is so the migrants they are of different varieties. They can be seasonal migrants. In human beings, I'm talking about circulatory migrants who are moving from place to place. Then there are short term migrants and there are return migrants, like they were originally the native of those places and now they are return migrants. Now I am a return migrant in the sense I was a person staying in Bangalore, but the original native place of my parents were in Tamil Nadu. So now, once I've come back to Tamil Nadu, I'm a return migrant. So these are migration tendencies that we have to notice. There has been a paradigm shift in the way of migration. Earlier, many of the South Indians used to migrate to the North Indian states for better job opportunities and prospects. Now it is completely the reversal of it, just like the movies where the South Indian movies are doing extremely well. Even in the economic perspective of the state, South Indian states are doing extremely well, and the job opportunities available are plenty. See, the interstate migrants, as per 2011 census, is 40% or more. So there are migrants happening within the state also. So they are from district to district for better job opportunities, growth, and other things. So 60% and 83% of domestic migrants have not uh, cast a vote. That is also another aspect which I'll be discussing at the end of the video. So migrants, the 85% of the internal migration is within the states. So why should migrants move from their original place? So one is the push factor, another is the pull factor. So refugees are also a type of migrants. They try to escape from poverty, conflict, persecution, terrorism, or human right violation. So even the refugees are a type of migrants who are pushed from their original places. And there are migrants who migrate as individuals or as family units or as large groups. The major types of migration that historically has happened is by invasion. The conquerors have conquered and they have become the natives. So this is by invasion, conquest, colonization, emigration or immigration. So they are the other types of migration that we notice. Immigration and immigration is what we are noticing at present, but in the earlier days when we were colonized and when we were invaded by various kings from different parts of the world, so they were all invasion and conquests that led to migration. So the types of migration are internal migration, so where you find the migrants are moving within a state, country, or continent. External migration is moving to different state, country, or continent. And return migration is moving back to the place of their origin. Seasonal migration is they move each season or in response to labor or climate conflict. So they are the seasonal migrants. So the push factor and pull factor, I was talking about the migrants. Like the push factors are where they are pushed out forcefully from their native places, food shortage, war, flood, unavailability of jobs. The pull factors for migrants to shift to other places are nicer climate, better job opportunity, lesser competition, better food supply. So the region's economy, climate, politics, and culture also have an impact on migration to and fro from an area. So that is also one of the factors. So now these are the factors which are very attractive for many of the people from North India to shift towards South India. So the effects of migration are there will be increased slum areas in cities. There is overcrowding might happen at the lower levels. So increase in problems like unhygienic condition, pollution, crime, because crime is also one of the reasons to be possible as there is a sense of anonymity. So migration leads to nuclear family, and the joint families are also broken. Earlier migrations from the rural to urban areas led to the joint family setup being broken. So even now, the migrants from other places, so it leads to nuclear family where the children grow up without a wider family circle. So the migrants are also exploited by the native capitalists or industrialists or small scale industries for cheap labor, and they are made to work for longer duration of time with lesser pay scale, and their desperation and makes them to accept the whatever offerings they are given, so which is much more better than what they were earning in their origin place. So competition with the existing workers. So the migration positive for the positive effect for the host states, like what are the positives that might happen wherever the migrants have moved is, so there is an increase in young working population. They fill up the skill gaps in labor's market. There is a cultural diversity. The origin states or country, they benefit from remittances that they are sending it from the state. So they are earning and sending it back to their state. So Kerala is also a very good example where many of the migrants move to Dubai and other Arabian countries. They make a very good earning and send it back to their families home at home in Kerala, and their economy has also improved because of this aspect of it. So the migration which are negative for the origin states, like those states which have lost their uh, original people to other states, so there is a brain drain that happens. The best brains of that state are lost, and in the process of better opportunities that they get in the South Indian states. So there is a brain drain, and loss of young people is also an impact for the states from where the migrants have originated. The negative impacts of migration for the state which is receiving them. So they can be the pressure on public services like education, school, housing, and healthcare, because there's a huge demand on it and supply is lesser. So language and cultural barriers will arise, and there will always be a conflict between the natives and the migrants on this aspect. So the natives are also threatened by the uh, large scale of migrants. So pressure on the existing natural resources. So the natural resources and the migrating population with the native population create a huge pressure on the existing natural resources. There will be racial tension and discrimination. So gender imbalance. So more men migrate than women for job opportunities. Even though it's a surprising factor to know that the maximum migrants are women folk. So the nearly around 69% are women who migrate either due to marriage or their husbands for translocation. If you take that way, each and every one of our family, the women folk are the migrants to other families, so which might be in the same place or different places. So the women migrants are maximum in our country, where 69% of women are the migrants, and it is the migration reason for that is due to marriage or their husbands translocating or being transferred to other states. So the immigration and labor market what is going to happen whenever the migrants are there is the low waged workers, they are going to lose more. So because the migrants are desperate to earn very less money when compared to the market rates. So the medium and high paid workers are more likely to gain by the entry of the migrants in the labor market. So migrants go to areas, which areas do they prefer for migrating? Wherever there is economic growth and strong labor demand is there, so those places they migrate. So migrants contribute to the labor market, public purse, and also economic growth. The high skilled occupation uh, migrants contribute to in the labor market is a highly skilled occupation will be taken up by the well versed migrants. So low skilled occupation is also predominantly occupied by them. How are the migrants going to benefit the public purse? The taxes and social contribution towards that state will be increasing the public purse. So economic growth and boost of working age population, so technological progress and human capital development will happen in the place where they have migrated. So now the migration patterns in India has changed. As I told you in the earlier part of this video, usually it used to be the South Indians who used to migrate to the North Indians, but that migration pattern in India has presently changed, which is reflecting the great economic divide in the country. So the highest increase in migration population in South Indian states are in Tamil Nadu and Kerala. So there is a status that every third citizen of the country is a migrant. So the socio-economic development of the southern state is attracting people from the north. So and also better educational facilities and awareness. So local areas, residents of these areas, they are drawn towards better economic opportunities elsewhere. So you can also notice most of the South Indians are also migrating, or you can say it as immigrating to other countries. So the emigrating to other countries like Canada, USA, UK, because of their higher skills and higher qualifications. So this has created a vacuum in most of the South Indian states and creating a crisis for manpower in low skilled jobs. There are very few takers for low skilled jobs. You can find that almost everyone in South India, even the least economically prospered person, can afford an engineering course for their children, and as a result of that you find high skilled labor has been created, and there is a huge shortage in low skilled jobs which are being occupied by migrants from the North India. There is also the white collar jobs being taken up by highly skilled people. So in India, the marriage is the biggest reason for migration, and also one of the reason for migration to South India more is the lower population growth in South India. The family planning and other things have worked a lot, and as a result of that, the population growth is lower, even though there's a huge demand for human resources. That is also one of the reason for it. But if you have to say about migration, the pros and cons of it. It is a part and parcel of life at every part of the civilization. There is a conflict and resolution of our conflicts, and people accept the migrants and they become the localites. Only thing is the adjustment of the migrants to the local conditions would be very helpful for their successful stay there as well as contribution to the that state. So the election part of it, now the government of India looking into the great North Indian migration to South India, they have come up with some projects like they want to have a remote voting for migrants so that they can vote to their political leaders back at home rather than moving from the settled place to their state just for voting part of it, and many of them they don't do that. So there is 60 to 83% of domestic migrants, they are not exercising their ballot, so they are not voting. So they can vote remotely in the home constituency if remote voting is electronic voting machine is activated. So this has to be done. So, and you also notice that most of the migration, out migration from that state to another state, it is happening in the rural population. 85% of the internal migration is within the state. So these are all certain facts and figures that we have. So next time when we speak about migrants or the natives, the problems that arise, we have to look into the pros and cons. The takeaway from this entire analysis is I feel that women have been the most migrating people, and they have got adjusted and acclimatized to the new families that they have joined. So, hats off to all those women who have migrated from their birth family to the husband's family, and how they have got adjusted and acclimatized to those families that they have entered. So, if we consider migration as a whole, so women have migrated a lot, and that is majorly not because of job opportunities, due to marriage or husband shifting their job to other places. So the best migrants have always been the women, whether there are job opportunities or not. So women have been migrating from their born families to other families. So this is what is my conclusion from the video. If you have liked this video and it has benefited you, like and share with others. Thank you.